Roy, you think of a guy like Roberto Duran.
Frank Lundy, Victor Postol, John Molina.
Canelo comes out and does what Canelo should do, Canelo wins the fight. Yeah. Canelo comes out and does what he shouldn't do, Crawford wins the fight.
Yeah. Well, with Crawford, what are Crawford's keys to victory when you are fighting someone like Canelo, who, albeit maybe not in height, but in stature, is a much bigger man than him?
Control the center of the ring.
What do you think about Terence Crawford calling out Canelo?
You know, I don't like that fight.
I say Terence win. Yes.
What? Terence win over Canelo?
Yes. Terence win.
The boxing world is buzzing with excitement as Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford have officially signed to face off in what's being called a mega fight. Boxing legends and analysts are already sharing their thoughts on how this showdown might unfold, but opinions are divided. Some experts believe Crawford's impressive skills give him a solid chance to win, while others think that Canelo's size and punching power will be too much for Crawford to handle. Boxing legend Mike Tyson, however, isn't a fan of the matchup between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. Tyson feels that Crawford struggled against the larger and more awkward Israel Madrimov, which makes him think a fight with Alvarez at 168 pounds could be risky for Crawford. The debate over this fight is intensifying, with many questioning whether Crawford can overcome the size and power of Canelo. Only time will tell how this matchup plays out.
He might have won. How Diaz manages to get...
What do you think about Terence Crawford calling out Canelo?
You know, I don't like that fight.
Why not?
I don't like that fight. It's just too much weight. You know, and he had a close fight with the last guy he fought, Terence, because this guy was big and he was awkward. He was really awkward. He shouldn't have fought that guy. He should have fought a guy that would just come straight at him. The guy was too awkward.
He's herky-jerky.
David Benavidez has shared an interesting perspective on the upcoming fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. Benavidez believes Crawford actually stands a good chance of winning. In fact, he wouldn't be shocked if Crawford pulled off an upset. According to Benavidez, Crawford has the right skills, mindset, and work ethic to overcome Canelo and take the victory. It's clear that Benavidez thinks Crawford has what it takes to surprise everyone in this highly anticipated fight.
Have any possibilities of landing anything big? He's not going to beat Terence Crawford.
Looks like it's going to come to fruition in September. What are your thoughts on that bout?
I have nothing to say. It's a good fight, and it's a good fight. I wish both of them the best.
All right, next question over here. But do you use that for motivation at all? Like Canelo's, like, you know?
I definitely do use that as motivation, because if I was such an easy fighter and target, he would have came and beat me already. Just for him not fighting me lets me know how dangerous I am.
How would you approach a fight?
Is there scissors? Is there scissors? Ask for scissors. Go ahead.
How would you approach a fight with Terence Crawford if it was you against Crawford?
To be honest with you, if I fought Terence Crawford, I would definitely use my size, my reach, my weight to my advantage. Crawford is a very smart fighter, but I guess thankfully I'm not fighting him.
While David Benavidez believes Terence Crawford has a real shot at beating Canelo Alvarez, he also admits that he's not entirely in favor of this fight taking place. Benavidez points out that Canelo is considered the money fight in boxing, and almost every fighter wants the opportunity to face him for the payday and the prestige. However, Benavidez doesn't agree with Crawford moving up so many weight classes to take on Canelo. He feels that jumping up in weight like that could be a tough challenge for Crawford.
Crawford throwing his hat in to want to fight Canelo at 168.
I mean, everybody wants to fight Canelo. It's the money fight. You know what I mean? I think even Inoue would come up to fight Canelo. Canelo wanted to fight him. I mean, I don't want to see Crawford to fight Canelo, to be honest with you. But it would be. I'm not saying it wouldn't be a great fight. It would be a great fight. But I feel like if I deserve my opportunity, and and after this fight, what else are you gonna say? You know what I mean? This is a tough fight. You know, the top WBC, the top people ranked at the WBC are fighting each other. So I mean, it should be an easy call. If I can't get those fights, then I'll go up to fight Bivol, or I'll go try to, I set my conquest on 175. Like I said, I don't want no handouts either. I want to, earn my spots everywhere I go, even at 175. But, I see that weight class, I want to become champion at 175, and that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Alexander Usyk, known for his technical boxing skills, views the upcoming fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford as a clash of size versus skill. He recognizes that Canelo, being the naturally bigger fighter, will have that advantage in the ring. However, Usyk firmly believes that skills are what ultimately win fights. He thinks Crawford, with his sharper techniques and more refined boxing ability, will have the upper hand. In Usyk's opinion, when it comes to boxing, skill beats size, and Crawford is the more skilled fighter.
Yeah, Crawford is one of those guys who studies his opponent. He'll have success early, but his opponent...
A potential fight between Canelo and Terence Crawford.
Yeah.
How do you see that fight? Who do you
like Terence? It's
wow,
my friend, but it's crazy man. Listen, I say Terence win. Yes.
What?
Terence win over Canelo.
Yes, Terence win. But listen, Terence, it's different man. Terence work in two stojka.
Two sides.
Two sides.
Right. And
right.
Switch hitter.
Yes.
He's a switch hitter.
Yes.
Right and left. But it's very smart man. It's very, very, very smart. But feel distance and plays like
Adjustments.
Spacing,
Exactly.
boxing.
You don't think the weight difference will be a factor too much?
Mario, you're asking him?
That's why I'm asking exactly.
Canelo big, yeah. Canelo too. It's a good boxer, but I say Terence.
Wow.
Roy Jones Jr., another boxing legend, has shared his thoughts on the upcoming fight and sees two possible outcomes. He believes that if Canelo Alvarez enters the ring in top condition and fights as he should, then Canelo will come out on top. However, Jones Jr. also points out that if Canelo isn't at his best, Terence Crawford will take advantage of the situation and claim the victory. According to Jones Jr., the outcome of the fight will depend entirely on which version of Canelo shows up that night.
Notice that he tied Diaz up and carefully managed him along the ropes there.
Yeah, because a lot of people are saying like, hey, forget about Canelo. That was a tough fight with Madrimov. Go ahead and give Boots a shot. Give Boots the chance. But Eddie's saying, hey, I think Crawford's saying, hey, give me the Canelo fight or I'm not fighting. I'm done.
Why? What do he got to prove to Boots? Boots trying to take over and start beating the guys around him, prove that he's the best of that group. Bud is in a group above him. Bud don't need to come back down to 47 to meet him. That's crazy. Why would he? Bud looking to try to make history and get out. Get his big bank and get out. His big bank is who? Canelo. He willing to take that gamble, see if he can beat him. If he beats him, he may go fight Benavidez next. If he don't beat him, he say, okay, I took it as high as I could go. I'm done.
That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy if he gets the win. Like, oh my God.
Sean Porter, who has shared the ring with Terence Crawford, has some concerns about this fight. He recognizes that Crawford is tough and resilient, but he questions whether Crawford will be able to withstand Canelo Alvarez's power. Porter, having experienced Crawford's physical strength firsthand, wonders how Crawford will handle being hit by someone like Canelo, who has knocked out bigger opponents. While Porter acknowledges Crawford's excellent defensive skills, he believes that taking punches from a power hitter like Canelo could be a real challenge for him.
The others say like, no, that's 2 more weight classes. Like once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down, so I think if anything, Canelo would try to start fast and bang on him and break him down before he gets later. And he still got that kind of steam, but there's so many components that make a champion. There's so many components that make a great, a legend. It's just so much to go into. It's a conversation that lasts an hour easily when we talk about all of the components that Terence Crawford has, all of the components that Canelo have, and how we find how they even out and who trumps one another. You know what I mean? We tried to do that with Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, and we see how that panned out. You know what I mean? So
Amir Khan, who has faced Canelo Alvarez in the past, is strongly advising Terence Crawford to avoid this fight. Khan knows firsthand what it feels like to be hit by Canelo, and he doesn't think Crawford should take that risk. He believes that moving up to 168 pounds is too big of a jump for Crawford, and that it could end very badly for him. Khan's warning comes from his own experience in the ring with Canelo, where the power difference was undeniable.
Pound Tracy sitting very close to Jerry Cooney on that side of the ring tonight.
I don't think that should happen. Look, I like Crawford, and I think Canelo is a beast that way. Honestly, I would advise Crawford not to do that.
Canelo versus Jamel Charlo playing out.
I think Canelo just outboxes him. Well, no, doesn't outbox him, but I think just outpowers him and beats him to the punch. And you do give Canelo does have some sort of like decent speed as well. So I think Canelo just wins that fight easy.
Would it be a knockout?
Could be, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say.
Former champion Caleb Plant believes Terence Crawford's strength and unique boxing style make him a dangerous opponent in any fight. While he acknowledges the weight difference between Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, he also points out that Crawford has shown time and time again that he can adapt to different situations in the ring. Plant thinks Crawford's boxing IQ and strategic approach could play a major role in this fight, making it more competitive than some people might expect.
Terence is not a regular guy. You know what I'm saying? He's special. And, you know, Canelo, he's a top-notch fighter, world-class fighter. Still on the pound-for-pound list, I'm sure towards somewhere near the top. And it's exciting. You know, Terence is freakishly strong. He can punch. He's got good crack. He can fight from both ways. Orthodox, southpaw. He can fight at mid-range, close range, outside. And he can fight going both ways. So it's exciting. It's exciting. It's a big question mark on the end of it, though. So that's why, you know, I'm sure all of us are excited for that bell to ring and, you know, be able to find out firsthand.
Teofimo Lopez isn't giving Terence Crawford much of a chance in this fight. According to Lopez, Canelo Alvarez is simply too big, too strong, and too experienced at the higher weight classes. He believes that at some point during the fight, Canelo will land a powerful punch that will end the bout with a knockout. For Lopez, it's clear that Canelo's strength and experience give him a major advantage.
Continuing exchanges and a higher rate.
What round does Crawford get knocked out? I'm gonna put 8. Let's put it on the universe. So I'm gonna put it on 8. 8. And if it goes the other way, I 8. You know, I 8. So yeah, Ryan, Joe, and Eddie Reynoso also. That'll be cool, man. We all get work. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have our own underground boxing, me and Ryan, before we fight.
Ryan Garcia has a similar opinion to Teofimo Lopez when it comes to the fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. Garcia feels that Canelo's size and strength will be too much for Crawford to overcome. While he respects Crawford's skills, Garcia doesn't believe Crawford has the physicality needed to deal with a fighter like Canelo at 168 pounds. For Garcia, the physical advantage Canelo has will play a big role in the outcome of the fight.
Yeah, putting himself in the position where Diaz really can't land, but then Crawford slips the...
That's going to be a great fight, too. I can't believe they made that happen. See, yeah, Turkey's been making a lot of great fights happen. You can't really hate on it. But I'm excited for that. I know Canelo, he's so big, so strong, and I think he'll be just too big. I mean, weight classes matter for a reason.
Last question, Ali. He said Teofimo and Boots are going to be on your October undercard.
Oh, yeah,
and the
I heard
winners
that.
would fight each other. Is
I
that what you were told?
I didn't know that, but I'm
What do you think of that?
I don't care. Let's do it. I wanted to fight Teofimo too.
Last one, I gotta do this. I agree with you that there's a lot of sanctioning bodies, there's a lot of promoters, there's gonna be more testing organizations, not just one. Tell me about that. Why are you so adamant about no lot?
I think that when a coach is pushing a certain organization, it just strikes me off weird. And if for it to be like a mandatory thing, like why can't I use another organization, you know? But again, I don't want to talk about them because, you know, it might sue.
Veteran trainer Joe Diaz is very straightforward in his opinion on the fight. He doesn't believe Terence Crawford stands a chance against Canelo Alvarez. Diaz acknowledges that Crawford is a great fighter, but when it comes to this matchup, he doesn't see anything in Crawford's skill set that could pose a serious challenge to Canelo. Diaz thinks that the size difference and Canelo's power will be too much for Crawford to handle.
And the hook on the inside. Diaz is actually...
to get inside. That's what's killing like that.
A lot of people that say that Crawford can beat Canelo, no problem. I mean, I respect that, but I just think they're stupid. I mean, excuse my language. The size difference of a bigger man changes everything with one punch. And I can see the same thing. I mean, you saw Canelo Alvarez fighting Amir Khan. Now, look at this. Terence Crawford moved from 47 to 54 to fight Madrimov. What did he do to Madrimov? Nothing. Okay, Madrimov was a 54-pounder. Now, to move up to 168, that's 2 more divisions. Canelo Alvarez will take any punch from Crawford, but I don't think Crawford will take any punches from Canelo. Remember, Canelo got hit by Triple G, the heaviest hitter in that division. And Canelo took those shots like a champ. I don't think Crawford has anything to beat Canelo.
Promoter Eddie Hearn also has some doubts about this fight. He acknowledges that Terence Crawford is an elite fighter, but he believes the weight difference between the two is simply too much. Hearn also argues that even if Canelo Alvarez beats Crawford at 168 pounds, he shouldn't get too much credit for the victory. According to Hearn, Canelo would be defeating a fighter who is naturally smaller and started his career at 140 pounds, making the win less impressive.
We brought two of them into the ring and treated them as equals. No, and most trainers have egos. They don't.
How is Crawford going to be able to bridge this weight gap?
Well, I don't think he can, in all honesty. I mean, he might not be able to bridge it on Saturday.
Yeah.
So,
one weight class.
68, yeah, but you're coming up from 35. 35, 40, 47, 54. Sooner or later, it's one too many. And 68 is definitely too many. But Crawford's brilliant. Like, he's a genius. He's a generational great. So maybe he can find a way to do it. But I feel he'd be hugely outsized against Canelo Alvarez. Yeah. But you have to use your movement if you're Terence Crawford in that fight. The last thing you want to do is stand and trade. He'd be moving a lot in that fight, trust me. I'm not saying he'd be running, but he would be moving a lot. Of course, that's the way to beat him.
Yeah.
You know.
Lá pra ver se ela gosta. Que gosta de emoção, que gosta de emoção, que gosta de emoção, que gosta de emoção, que gosta de emoção. Tá aqui na tcheca dela no banheiro do avião.
Conor Benn offers a more balanced view on the upcoming fight. He believes both fighters have an equal shot at winning. In his opinion, this is a true 50/50 matchup where anything could happen. While many are favoring Canelo Alvarez because of his size, Ben thinks that Crawford's skills and boxing intelligence could make it a much more even fight than some expect.
With Crawford going up, I believe he can put a beating on anybody 154, 160.
But not 68.
Nah, Benavidez is...
Canelo. Yeah.
Oh, Canelo. I think he's a smart fighter. He doesn't rely on his power. Crawford ain't a fighter who just relies on his power. And then Canelo, you know, when he's fought Belenga, then fought Ryder, Munguia. It's even. I think it'd be a 50-50 fight if Crawford fought Canelo.
Shakur Stevenson is fully backing Terence Crawford. He believes that skills pay the bills, and in this case, he sees Crawford as the more skilled fighter. Stevenson also dismisses the idea that Crawford is too small, arguing that he is bigger and stronger than people think.
You want to work with a good hook head, hook body by Crawford.
I think skills pay the bills. Yeah. And I feel like, truthfully, he's not as little as people think. Like, people think he's like very small.
He cut weight to get to 147, 154.
Yes. Yeah. He's not as small as like people think. It's just he look like it. Yeah. So like if you see him
in person
and he get on a scale or something, you wouldn't believe that's his weight.
I told somebody the other day he might get on the scale weighing like 166, 167 fighting Canelo, and people wouldn't believe how ripped up and cut up he'll still look. He won't look like he's overweight Terence Crawford. He gonna look like a solid Terence Crawford.
I think he beat Canelo though. I've been saying I remember when he fought when they fought. Go watch an interview after the fight. I literally said I think Terence Crawford would beat Canelo.
Okay, I wouldn't say that.
Oh, a long time ago. Yeah. No cap.
I did tell him after the Smith fight, I said, man, go get Canelo. You the greatest. Yeah. It's era.
For sure.
Yeah, it's no question.
No question, yes.
Actually, back to the you and Terence working together, because you've shared everything you've learned from him. There was fans doing their homework in the Avanesian fight and in the Spence fight, saying actually it looks like Terence may have taken a couple things from Shakur as well, not just Shakur taking things from Terence.
Jeff Mayweather, another respected figure in boxing, holds Terence Crawford's skills in high regard. He believes Crawford is the better fighter when it comes to pure skill. However, Mayweather warns that you can't underestimate Canelo Alvarez. He emphasizes that Canelo's power and experience make him a serious threat, and Crawford can't afford to take him lightly.
You can't get Diaz out of here.
Where he might be able to do it.
It's kind of tough, but if anybody can do it, I think it would be Terence Crawford. I mean, skill-wise, I think he's a better fighter than Canelo, but Canelo is also a great fighter but he owns that weight class that he's in. So I would just say that I think that Crawford has to fight almost a perfect fight to win, and take advantage of
Canelo's mistakes.
Yeah, so we have, is it almost kind of a battle of, we have two guys, obviously the best, two of the best 3 or 4 boxers in the sport, regardless of weight class, but, which one is closer to the version of their prime, right? They're both getting older. I mean, they're both still, very, very good at this point, but, do you think maybe one of them, it's time for them to start falling off, and that might be the difference in this fight, that one starts to trail up a little bit?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, both guys are aging, and you never know. You never know when they're going to show their age. So it could be either one of them that does that. But I mean, I just lean toward Crawford because I just see dude has so many skills, and I mean, I just see that him possibly winning the fight by decision.
Trainer Stephen Bradman Edwards believes Terence Crawford has what it takes to defeat Canelo Alvarez. He points to Crawford's superior mobility, reach, and stamina as key advantages. Edwards emphasizes that Crawford's ability to move around the ring while still being effective, along with his mental toughness, will be crucial in dealing with Canelo's pressure. According to Edwards, these factors could help Crawford outmaneuver and outlast Canelo in the fight.
Catches and slips, he's really good. But Crawford is just so clutch. His conditioning is so good. They're going to be about similar heights. Crawford's a little taller. He's longer. And I think that Crawford's adjustments in fights are so underrated. He is a master adjuster. He finds something in every fight and just goes with it. That last fight, people talk about he struggled. You know what he found that last fight? A simple jab. He just started beating the guy up with a jab. He finds something in every fight. And he don't fight a lazy fight.
Legendary trainer Teddy Atlas is confident that Terence Crawford will win the fight. He believes Crawford is simply too skilled, too intelligent, and too well prepared to lose. Atlas feels that Crawford's ability to adjust during the fight and his overall boxing IQ will guide him to victory. For Atlas, it's not about size, it's about skill. And he is certain that Crawford has everything needed to win.
Jimmy's fast hands. Terence Crawford have in that toolbox. The jab with...
Not official, but it may be a done deal. Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez. Early thoughts? What do you think?
Yeah, look, the first thought is, can he handle the weight jump? Can he handle the weight jump? He being Crawford. Against Madridov, people are going to say, oh, he had some hiccups. Who don't have hiccups? When you eat something that's a little difficult to eat, and Madridov was a little difficult to eat, he's not easy to digest. He's a good fighter. But when you eat something that's a little tough to digest, you get hiccups, right? So, come on, he's human. So he had a few hiccups. He won the fight. He's Terence Crawford. A lot of people say, oh, Teddy, you make him so good. You're always saying how great Crawford is, but who's he beating? He unified the, what was his first division? Lightweight, then he unified the junior, then he unified the junior welter, then he unified the welter. I think I got the weight classes right. It doesn't matter.
Sports analyst Ariel Hawani discussed the upcoming fight, raising an interesting point. He mentioned that Canelo Alvarez is getting older, and there are concerns about whether his legs are still as strong as they once were. Meanwhile, Terence Crawford is a skilled switch hitter who impressed in his first fight at 154 pounds. Hawani believes that Crawford is becoming more comfortable at the higher weight and has been preparing for a challenge like this for a long time. With his high boxing IQ, he thinks this could turn into a very competitive fight.
Treated for a concussion, but nothing more.
Diaz, when he has success, it's generally...
Crawford, switch hitter. He did all right in his first fight at 54, but now he'll get more comfortable as a bigger guy. He's actually not that small, this, that, and the other. Yesterday on my program, Ade, I spoke to David Benavidez, and I asked him about this fight, and his response surprised me. I want to play this clip for you and get your response to David's answer. Here it is.
It's a good fight for both of them. Good fight for, I think it's more important for Crawford than anybody, but I think if anybody could beat Canelo, I think Crawford could.
Yeah, I know you said he could be the guy. What kind of a chance do you ultimately give him?
I think you give him a 7 out of a 10.
Oh, wow, that high. I thought you were going to say 25 just because of the size.
Good. Crawford is good, and I think he's been known that he's going to fight Canelo for a long, long time. And Crawford, he likes to pick up the weight, so I'm sure he's been working on the weights for a long, long time. So
that wraps up today's video. Be sure to stay tuned for more updates, and we'll see you next time.